Printmaking is an amazing form of art that has been around since the prehistoric times. The first prints humans might have observed was maybe our footprints or animal prints, and this realization inspired printing with hands covered in colorful substances on walls in caves, and then later with rock tools. Humans were creating print media long before the printing press was created. We can find a history of printmaking in Africa and Asia, long before the printing press. A printing press is a mechanical device for applying pressure to an inked surface resting upon a print medium and transferring the ink. The printing press was an important invention because it allowed us to share large amounts of information quickly and in huge numbers. Printing presses were also used for art. Artists can create editions of an artwork by creating art on copper plate, on wood block, on linoleum, and printing from that. If you don't have access to a printing press or copper plates or wood blocks, another great way to do printing is with found objects.
Hi everybody! We are doing printmaking with found objects today. So the found objects that I'm going to use are things that you can find around your house, such as old toys. This is a great one for cleaning out toy chests or cleaning out your drawers and bedrooms and finding old toys that maybe you don't use anymore or the parts are missing and you only have a few. So here's some toys that I've collected. When you're collecting the toys or found objects, try to find ones that have interesting shapes because that will lead to the most beautiful designs and patterns. The bottom of this square is actually a circle. The bottom of this triangle has a cool shape. Everyone has old Legos or Duplo blocks, and this is an old, hexagon. Here we go. So, one of the tricks to making good prints is to diluting your paint with a little bit of water. That way, the objects pick up the paint more easily and don't put on as thick a layer of paint. If you use just the pure paint straight out of the tube, what happens is the paint chunks onto the bottom and leaves big chunks on your artwork instead of making just the shape. So by watering it down a little bit, it brings it to a consistency that's better for printmaking. So I'm just going to mix the water in here to this yellow paint a little bit. It's also good to have a paintbrush on hand in case your object doesn't pick up the paint as well as you would like. You can actually just paint the color onto the bottom. So let's go ahead and start with the yellow one here. I'll dip it in and see what shape it makes. Okay, I'm just going to add it with a brush to be sure. Alright, move this off to the side and see what shapes we can make. Looks good. Alright, you can do multiple prints before you have to re-ink your printmaking tool. So I did 4 just now, and by the 4th one it's not as bright. Now you can be very methodical about your design, or you can be more abstract and just see how the colors work. In fact, I think it's probably best to try both. So oh yeah, this one is working really well when I re-ink it each time instead of doing it 2 or 3. So I am starting with a base here of yellow triangles. So on this little spot here, you can see it picked up a big chunk of the paint. So again, painting, another option is painting it on instead of dipping it in. There we go. You can also do a few trial practices on a paper towel just to see how it looks before doing it. Alright. So here go my triangles. Now what's great about this project is you can keep building layers. Each time you add a layer, it adds more lines, more shapes, more patterns to your artwork. So what shape will I do next? I think I'm going to try the Duplos. So once again, I'm going to mix the water here a little bit with the paint to get it a little bit more liquidy, get the consistency, should quite runny. Okay, so I've mixed paint and water here. Let's see, we're going to do this shape. So actually, I'm going to do a test before I put it right onto my paper. Let's test it. Test it out really nicely. So I tried my test there. Whoops, got a good view. And because the test looked good, now I feel comfortable going right onto my paper. So I'm going to make, you know what, I'm going to do diagonals. Again, you can either plan out your design ahead of time, or you can just work as you go. Those are two different processes that artists use. Some plan it out in advance, and some work a little bit more intuitively. Either option works. So I'm doing prints across with my tie here. And each time I'm re-inking it. So originally with these ones I tried doing, like I said, 4, but it didn't go on as dark. The colors didn't print as nicely. So this is working really nicely to re-ink it each time. For my final layer, I thought to mix the two colors together and have green. So for my last pattern, I'm going to do both of them together. So I'll mix these together and make a green. And it's nice and watery because of all the water I already added. Here you go. We'll finish with our last shape. Or no, I have this one too. Let's see. This is where you have to think about your pattern design and which shape would work better. I think for this one, the circle. So again, I'm going to do a test print. Looks great. So here goes final circles. Excuse me. Pardon me. Oh, sorry. All right. When you're making your project, think about what colors you want to do together. So I thought these 3 colors made a nice harmony. So again, colors, the choice of colors is a big part of your artwork as well. Looks like I can get 2. Okay, here we go with the final product. Ta-da!